After the year of agents, part 2, what comes next and what we can do about it. Let me start simply. If this way of working now feels familiar, that may not be a problem. It may just signal a certain level of maturity. Many organizations seem to be in a similar place. What appears to have changed is not intelligence, it is visibility. Some gaps become easier to notice once these systems are used more regularly, especially around decisions. One pattern that often appears is that output grows quickly: drafts, options, versions. What may grow more slowly is shared clarity around who decides what happens next. When ownership is not fully explicit, work can slow down, not because the content is weak, but because responsibility for the final call may feel less clear. This often shows up as repeated reviews or longer decision cycles. Another pattern concerns pilots. Experiments run, results may look promising, but the decision to scale, adjust, or stop can remain open longer than intended. Over time, pilots may quietly become permanent, not by design, but by default. A third pattern relates to familiarity. Repeated use builds confidence. At the same time, context continues to change. Without planned review moments, small misalignments may accumulate. Everything looks stable until adjustment is needed. So here is a simple decision health check. Not an audit, just a practical process check. Questions such as, at which point does this system stop being used? Who is formally responsible for the final decision? Who approves and who only provides input? And where do we say, this is good enough, we move on? If answers are unclear or differ, this may point to process design rather than the tool itself. There are also a few early signals worth noticing. Topics returning to multiple meetings, more reviewers involved but ownership staying diffuse, approval taking longer than expected. These often suggest that decision boundaries could use clarification. In practice, what tends to help is not more documentation. It is shared boundaries. For example, when may recommendations be prepared this way? When might this not be appropriate? And who would be able to explain the outcome if asked? Why was this decided this way? As use matures, value may also come from stopping certain habits, refining material simply because improvement is possible, assuming generated drafts are neutral by default, delaying decisions in the hope that another version will help. Preparation can be supported. The decision moment remains human. A possible takeaway. In 2026, advantage may not come from scale alone. It may come from clear decisions under pressure. Teams that seem to benefit most often make ownership explicit, early. One small next step: pick one question from today's checklist and try to answer it without exceptions or caveats. If that feels difficult, it may simply show where attention could be useful. Before we close, one look ahead. In the next edition, we'll look at organizational maturity in using these systems. Not theory, not slide models, but where organizations often are today, and what can be done practically and realistically at each stage. Thank you for listening. AI with intention, decisions with ownership, and I'll see you in the next one. Anna.